Sometimes, how our union works can be a bit confusing. How it functions is not always clear. As part of the Airline Pilots Association, JetBlue ALPA has a structure determined by the ALPA Constitution and bylaws, Administrative Manual, and the JetBlue MEC Policy Manual. These give structure to our union and define how it functions day to day. In this episode of The Brief, we're going to take a look at the basic structure of your union and how you, the member, are the most integral part of your union. So, let's start with you, the ALPA pilot. As an ALPA member pilot, you inform the direction of our union through surveys, PDR submissions, volunteering, attending meetings, speaking with your elected reps, and, most importantly, voting, whether it be in local representative elections or ratifying a contract. At least once every 36 months, you will be asked to consider whom you want to represent your interests in the union by voting in local executive council or LEC elections. This process can be confusing, so we'll go into a little bit more detail. Our union currently consists of 5 councils: New York, Boston, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Los Angeles. Each of these is represented by a local executive council, or LEC, in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws, and the MEC Policy Manual. Our 2 largest bases, New York and Boston, are classified as large councils, which means they have 2 captain and 2 first officer reps. Each LEC has officer positions of chair, vice chair, and secretary-treasurer, and they are responsible for the governance at the local level. Breaking this down, this leads to 4 pilots elected as LEC representatives in the large councils, from which the roles as LEC officers are then selected in a follow-up election. In the other councils, the captain rep, first officer rep, and secretary-treasurer are elected first. Then, a follow-up election selects the chair and vice chair from either the captain or first officer representative. Per ALPA policy, in large councils like New York and Boston, the 4 elected reps are known as status reps. In our other 3 councils, the captain and first officer reps are the status reps. Looking at the bigger picture, our Master Executive Council, or MEC, is made up of the 17 LEC captain and first officer reps and the secretary-treasurers, with the 14 status reps being the voting members of the MEC. These 17 pilots are entrusted with setting the course of our union, giving direction to the MEC officers, and directing the negotiating committee during Section 6 and other negotiations. The power to elect, influence, and, when necessary, recall local reps is in the hands of the membership, making it critical for every ALPA member to take an active role in their union. But the MEC structure is not complete just yet. Every 2 years, the MEC elects its own group of officers. These officers are nominated and selected by the LEC reps you elect. A nominee does not need to be a current rep. Any JetBlue ALPA pilot in good standing can be nominated by a voting member of the MEC to run for the position of MEC Chair, MEC Vice Chair, or MEC Secretary-Treasurer. While the MEC officers provide executive leadership when the MEC is not in session, they take their direction from the entire MEC comprised of the LEC representatives that you elect. It bears emphasizing that the officers are not voting members of the MEC. Together, the voting representatives and the officers develop and implement union policy for our pilot group, oversee the day-to-day administration of the MEC's function, and establish longer-term strategic goals. Now, We have a basic idea of the structure of our union, but there is a missing and critical component. Once the MEC, made up of LEC reps and the MEC officers, makes a decision, someone needs to put that into effect. That is the role of the committee structure. The work of JetBlue ALPA is largely done by over 300 volunteers who work on committees such as grievance, R&I, system scheduling, central air safety, negotiating, pilot's assistant network, hotels, and many others. These pilot volunteers take the time and put in the work to achieve the gains we all desire as professional pilots. It is another way in which you, the member, can take an active role in the direction of your union. From the very first election of local representatives, the beating heart of any union is you, the member. Without your engagement, the union cannot succeed to its fullest potential. This engagement comes through ballot votes, surveys, meeting attendance, speaking with your reps, submitting PDRs and hotel reports, and many other activities. All of these data points will help the union reps understand your concerns, goals, and needs. These sorts of input direct the negotiating process for our most important document, our CBA. Without active input from our membership, our union negotiators would not be able to adequately represent our collective wants for our CBA. So when the opportunity comes to engage your union, please do. The union needs membership engagement to function at its best.